CeeDee and Micah Parsons. Take a listen.
Both of them, rightfully so, believe they should be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, and totally respect that. So very difficult situations that we're trying to work through with them.
Okay. Greg, do you think the Cowboys Super Bowl window is closing here?
Well, it's typically only open in the offseason and then regular season, and then it just gets shut down in the postseason. So, yeah, it's closing. And if anyone believes that CeeDee Lamb not being present is not a problem and it doesn't impact this team, where have you been? What have you been watching? Who do you believe is the most important piece to why this offense was as effective as they were last year? So their window is closing. It's not all the way closed yet because we haven't played this regular season. And it's typically they look good. They look great. They might be very alluring to a lot of people, maybe even myself.
Here's the thing that I didn't like about that quote. That's not a hard negotiation if you know exactly what the other person wants. It's actually these hard negotiations are when you don't know what they want or what they want is unreasonable.
Well, did you read this as CeeDee wants more money than Justin Jefferson?
To me, they both want just about $35 million a year, which I have no sources with Dallas. I've never met either player. I don't hang out with Michael Rubin enough to have a relationship with Micah Parsons or C.J. Stroud. Yet, I told you guys in March, Micah's number is $1 more than Nicky Bosa's, which was $34 million. CeeDee's number was the highest paid receiver ever, which in March was 30. Then A.J. Brown signed for 32, and Jerry was like, wait for more leaves to fall. Justin got 35, and now you're at 35 and $1. And I know you don't like that, but Wiles.
I'm just not. I don't know if anyone thinks he's better than Justin Jefferson.
Any of these contracts
he just signed like 3 weeks ago.
But Wiles, does anybody think Trevor Lawrence is better than Joe Burrow?
Nope.
No, but there was enough space there. Those weren't right on top of each other.
Okay, so then I'll think of another example of it.
Jordan Love is going to sign now. I think
Jordan Love's going to get more than Joe Burrow? He's going to get more than but regardless of what NFL contracts are not slotted by who the best is. It is if you are in the bucket of one of the best. It's just order of whoever signs latest gets the most, and that's how the market moves up. That's what happens. Everyone knew that was going to happen, which is why not paying the problem is this. Their demands, CeeDee wanting to be the highest paid receiver, Micah wanting to be the highest paid defensive player, those were their demands 4 months ago. That demand hasn't changed. How much it costs you to make that happen, I believe CeeDee would have taken the A.J. Brown deal.
No question.
$32 million a year before A.J. got it, and once A.J. got it, it goes up. That's bad business. If you want to keep the employee, what they're asking for is in line with the market, and you know what they're asking for, that's not a hard negotiation. Yeah. It's a very simple negotiation.
Okay. Coming up after the break, what's Brock going to make? And we have some breaking news into my ear.
Do we?
Yeah.
What is it? Tell me. Oh, okay, perfect. Max Crosby, or you know what I mean, someone else.
Late July. Look how packed the board is.
I know. We're going to need a bigger board. And a lot of AFC West representation on the board. Multiple championships. Knicks is the same as Mahomes. Now a Raiders on there. A lot of stuff.
There's several just compliments.
There's a lot. Oh, I forgot about Antonio Pierce. We have the recipe to beat the Chiefs. A lot of AFC West chatter.
Why was Vegas on the West?
Well, because they put the Niners as the Super Bowl favorites.
Wow.
Yeah, the odds makers, the men in the desert.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Head to Dallas, where Dak opened the door to possibly leaving. He's on the last year of his contract, and we're trying to figure out if he's going to re-sign or just wait and hit free agency. Here's what he said about it. Take a listen.
It's a business, and you know when. I'm going to say it. I want to be here, but, you know, when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. That may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have.
Okay, Greg, your reaction?
I don't mind this at all. I don't mind it one bit because at some point you have to understand what you're doing and what you're within. And you're within a business. And what you're doing is trying to put yourself in a position to make the most money and maximize who you are and the value that you provide. That team that you're with or any team. Mm-hmm. And what Dak Prescott understands is that I'm not exempt. Like, do I want to be here? Of course. I don't know one great player that has performed at a high level for an organization, was drafted by that organization, that desire and is having success not only individually but collectively with that organization to a degree, that wants to leave. No one. So obviously Dak doesn't want to leave, but he also understands and is real with himself that I got to prepare myself and my family and whoever else is attached to me to where I may not be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback in the future. And if you are unwilling to do that, you are setting yourself up for disappointment.
That's exactly right.
Any player in the league will tell you that.
And he's alerting the Cowboys. I am not emotionally tied that I have to be here. 44 days. There's 44 days until the Cowboys open their season on Fox with Tom Brady on the call. Mm-hmm. And I am here to tell you that if a deal is not done by the first snap of that game, one thing I can guarantee and the other thing I feel very strongly about. What I can guarantee is it will be mentioned on the broadcast by Tom within the first quarter. One of the biggest storylines of this season is Dak Prescott's contract situation. That will be setting the template for the year. And the other thing that I feel very strongly about, if they do not get a deal done before that first game, he's not going to be their quarterback next year because someone will outbid them. They have had exclusive negotiating rights, and they have not been able to get anything done. The price is only going to go up. And if they don't have it done in the offseason, Dak is not going to all of a sudden in week 7 take a deal. No, at that point, you've taken all the risk already. Might as well go actually hit the open market. So if they have 44 days, in my opinion, to get Dak Prescott's deal done. And if not, this is his last year with the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
And I'll add to this really quick. And the reason why I feel like he would take that risk is because the very thing kind of happened to Kirk Cousins this year.
Yes.
Like, he played, 5-6 games?
Yep.
Got hurt, an Achilles, and then he still made that amount of money?
There is no real risk.
Yeah.
Do you say there's no emotional attachment from Dak to the Cowboys? Do you think there's an emotional attachment from the Cowboys to Dak? This is Josh's graphic of the big 6 quarterbacks in recent, well, not that recent, we got Don Meredith on there, in Cowboys history. Now, none of them played for another team. They all ended their career with the Cowboys. Now, the odd part of it is there's different injuries and Aikman's concussions, things like that. There wasn't a sort of like Rodgers-esque, like we're kind of moving on from you. But do you think that the Cowboys kind of want to keep Dak? And
then they would.
Like, we don't let quarterbacks go to other teams. That's just, you get a star in your helmet, you kind of keep it.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just going to treat it in the Jerry Jones era, right? Mm-hmm. So, because I think how they did things with Staubach and Meredith, like that's to me not as. Or I guess Staubach's there for the beginning of the Jerry Jones era, but Aikman had to retire because of injury. Tony wanted to keep playing, and the Cowboys were like, "You have lost your job to Dak Prescott. You can't have it back." They let him have that one Week 17 game at the end, and that was it. And then he went into broadcasting. And so the Cowboys have made it very clear they are not comfortable making Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. They have made that clear every negotiation he's had. Mm-hmm. The first negotiation he had was so protracted, they franchised him. They then franchised him again and got the deal done. This one, I don't know if you remember, Wilds, but a year ago I was trying to get this story into the show when we were talking Cowboys. The Dak Prescott contract situation. And Wild's America doesn't love contract stuff. He certainly doesn't love contract stuff 2 years out. But it was...
Stay tuned for the Brock Purdy conversation.
And so, right, exactly. And so